So ICE has been quietly planning to build a detention center in southwest Oklahoma City. Now, according to the Oklahoman, the 415,981 square foot facility at 2800 South Council Road is being considered for a facility to hold up to 1,500 people. The site sits within 2 miles of Winds West Elementary and West Heights High School. And until recently, almost no one outside of the federal circles knew that it was being planned. Residents and local officials only learned of the proposed project when the Washington Post reported that ICE planned to purchase warehouses nationwide to detain as many as 80,000 people, and the Oklahoma City site was on the list. Further confirmation came on December 23rd, 2025, when the Oklahoma City Planning Department received a letter from the United States Department of Homeland Security of DHS's intention to purchase and occupy the warehouse at South Carolina Road to create a new Oklahoma City processing center for ICE. It also listed planned features such as a guard shack, fencing, cafeterias, holding and processing space, and healthcare spaces. However, this was not an attempt to communicate their plans with the local community. It was only sent because, under federal law, DHS is required to determine whether the project would impact historic property and then notify local officials of their determination. DHS's letter concluded that it would not impact any local historic property. In a letter published by Oklahoma City officials, they admit that they cannot overrule that determination, but they say that they will still issue a response urging DHS to pursue further city approvals, including a special permit typically required for detention facilities. Oklahoma officials' statement that they have issued so far cites the Supremacy Clause of the United States Constitution, which exempts federal agencies from most local land use and zoning restrictions. In practice, that means that federal law explicitly exempts detention centers from local zoning regulations, and DHS can proceed without local approval, just as it has for projects at Tinker Air Force Base in the Mike Mulroney Aeronautical Center. Now, public reaction to this information has been swift and angry. Community organizers have scheduled a rally at Scissortail Park called the Free America Walkout to demand that the project be halted. Meanwhile, a similar controversy is unfolding in Durant, Oklahoma, where rumors are building about another ICE facility potentially being built in a former Big Lots warehouse. Apparently, there were some very heated exchanges at a local city council meeting regarding the issue. However, the Durant City Council ended up voting to acquire a special permit for any detention facility. However, Oklahoma's city's leadership has not yet taken similar action. Local lawmakers have also pushed back on the proposal, as well as State Senator Carrie Hicks, whose district covers parts of Oklahoma City. She said the lack of notice was deeply troubling. It really caused me a lot of concern. Hicks said, "I'm an elected official and lots of people have questions and are justifiably concerned that this could be already developed and in plans for implementation." Hicks brought particular attention to the facility's location less than 2 miles from Western Heights School District, home to a student body that is roughly 50% Hispanic. She said, "As I'm thinking about those students, and I'm thinking about the parents, and I'm thinking about the impacts to our local community, it is appalling." She added, "We don't want a detention facility. If there are specific individuals with warrants who absolutely need to be apprehended to protect public safety, then continue to do things through our normal way of operations. When the federal government leaves, our city will be left holding the price tag, whether in public services or public safety resources. The fallout will be immense. However, attempts to reach the Department of Homeland Security have gone nowhere. News 4 of Oklahoma reported that the phone number listed for the DHS official overseeing the project has been disconnected. The agency has issued no public comments since the news broke. For many Oklahomans, the issue goes beyond immigration enforcement. One of the central principles at stake for them is the principle of local self determination, and whether a community has any say when the federal government decides to build a prison like facility at its doorstep. Critics call the move an act of bureaucratic overreach, and it's being carried out behind closed doors with minimal transparency, and they worry that the facility would not only target vulnerable groups, but also burden Oklahoma City with social and economic consequences for years to come. Unless DHS reserves course or slows its plan, construction could proceed without public hearings, local votes, or even formal notice to a nearby residents. In the words of one protest organizer at Scissortail Park, they're building it for the people they hope will stop seeing as people.